G'day everybody, welcome back to Moko Walkthroughs. Today I'm going to be talking about a piece that I did on one of the bros, Bonnie. This was a couple of months ago, so let's jump straight into it. First, I'll just go through and show you the photos. Obviously, we just did a 3/4 sleeve, and it was his left arm. Pretty stoked with the results. This is a bit of a back view, or 3/4 back view. One of the things that's really important to me as a Moko artist is doing line work that's as clean as I can get it, and focusing on every single line, not just focusing on the lines that are on the front and the obvious part that everybody sees, but also focusing on lines close to the armpit, around the underside, which is a place that people don't often get to see. And that really took me a long time to learn to develop that patience needed to do that sort of line work. And this is just my own personal take on it as well. I know plenty of artists who do super clean line work and they're way faster than me too. It's just me. I'm just slow. I just can't do fast straight lines. But straight lines are straight lines. So yeah, this is a back view, straight over the elbow, as you can see. Inside view. This area in here, and the elbows, the skin's different there, so it's quite delicate, and I've learned to just turn my machine down to pretty much as low as it can go. I use a Cheyenne Hawk pen and a Cheyenne Power Pack, and I turn it down to 60 RPM, I think it is. I don't even know. 60, whatever 60 means. If you know, you know. And yeah, just because of that skin there being very delicate and not wanting the lines to blow out, which is very easy. That's happened to me in the past. These are really just shots, like artistic approach to getting photos of Moko, and really trying to focus on really just trying to expose myself. Because if you know, when you take photos of Moko and you look down lines like that, like how I'm looking down this line, it's easy to see imperfections. And I really like to just, I don't know, try and do this just to reiterate the attention to trying to do as good line work as I can. Next piece is down the bottom, and this was this is just a photo to focus on this feature here, which is one that I've sort of I had taken this one and this one up here from my dad. He's the one who taught me how to do Moko in the early stages of my career, and I saw him doing like a different approach to Moko that I never saw anyone else doing. So these are really designs that I've adopted from him. And this is the inside. Really just trying to make it super clean flows, even spacing in these pūhoro. More close-ups. And another close-up. Now, it's time to zoom out and then sort of talk through my process. So I'll just turn all these layers back on. So we'll start here. So originally, when I did this draw up, I had it finishing in a straight line there. But Bonnie, he didn't want it to end in a straight line, and he wanted it to sort of end more organically or end at a point. And just where I am in my career at the moment, especially with this design here being symmetrical, you can see the center line there. I try to have a real deliberate I suppose, approach to every decision, and I didn't want to turn this symmetry focused piece into something that was asymmetrical and do something like the norm, which is usually ending a moko like that or something. And there's nothing wrong with that, but like I say, for this one in particular, I wanted to still have the focus being on symmetry and clean line work, so we opted to go for a finish like this. And the cool thing too is, with moko in general as well, is if I wanted to later on, if Bonnie wanted to, you could easily carry it on, do something else with it. This is just playing around, and that's what's cool about moko, is it's easy to add to. And if you think about moko as, instead of just a bunch of individual pieces, but one continuous growing piece, you'll end them in ways that make the piece that you've just done look complete and make them easy to be added onto in future if you want to, and have the new additions combined with the original piece look like one piece as opposed to two separate pieces. So that's that view there. And also one of the things that I did with this too was, if you look and you follow this line or this shape, and you've got these three lines here, these three lines here, which have this sort of angle to them, and then you have these three, and you see them, they sort of come together, and create like this batiki shape. These are just abstract shapes that every now and then, if I'm onto it enough, I like to create suggestions of shapes and lines that talk to each other. So those angles are going up, these ones are coming down, and you just you create shapes like that and create a flow like that, which is another thing to help add to the aesthetic aspect of the moko. And then also, if you come in here, you've got these whakarare, which are smack bang pretty much in the middle of that diamond shape, which is another way to break it up as well. So that's just another thing that, if you've seen this piece, you may not have noticed, and if you did, well done. Next photo, this is more on the back side. And the thing about doing symmetry, especially on an arm, and if you have the center line where I have it, is you'll notice that when you're trying to balance this side here and that side, this side is a lot smaller than this side here. So, on this side here I've got a puhoro, this side I've got a puhoro, but over here I'd have a koru up here, and on this side I could have done a koru, but then I've got all this extra space over here, so I opted to have a mangopare up here. So that's that's just another thing that helps make the challenge of doing a symmetrical piece on this part of the body a bit harder. Next we will go to this koruru up on his shoulder. I usually like to do koruru or kaitiaki in general, whether it be manaia, wheku or whatever, up on the shoulder. To me personally, it just looks nice. But that's also a thing that I want to challenge later on, put it somewhere else other than the shoulder. There's no one way to do things, no right or wrong way. This is just how I've been doing it up to now. One thing that I like to do is have one half be different to the other, but not be way different, like just be different enough that when you look at it closely you can see, oh yeah, this side's different to that side. But when you're looking at it from far away, like, oh geez, there's not a photo. Or when you're looking at it from far away, like that, it still looks like just one, you know, sort of symmetrical face. And the way I do that is just by doing little features, you know, like changing this niho and doing different fill-ins on one side to the other. Pretty much keeping the fill-ins all the same, just changing the direction of them. Yeah, things like that. Those are sort of ways that I help differentiate one side from the other. And usually I like to represent ira wahi ne, ira tāne, with left and right. Yeah, that's just my approach at the moment. What else we got on here? And like I said, if you watched the first video, I like to have a couple of features, a few max, which is to help draw the eye in. So you've got this kaitiaki up here. You've got these designs, really just to help break it up, even that. And then other than that, it's pretty simple. You know, you come in here and it's super clean, super simple. Spacing is pretty even right through the whole thing. And it's to give the eyes a rest. Because one lesson that I learned a long time ago, maybe 10 years ago now, indirectly from Jeff Gogwe, who's an American tattoo artist, was about contrast. And he was talking about a singer who can sing a super high note. It sounds amazing, but it only sounds amazing when they do it hardly ever, and when it's contrasted with normal notes that they sing through the majority of the song. And then he said if they were to sing that high note through the whole song, it would sound rubbish, or you know, it wouldn't be good. And that's the same, or my mentality anyway, when doing Moko, is having simple areas to help make the features sing. And they wouldn't sing as much if the whole thing was trying to fight for your attention. Yeah, that's pretty much my approach to this one. Really happy with how it turned out. And it was also just good to see the bro again too. So yeah, hope you fellas enjoyed this one. It's been hours and hours of overthinking jumping into this episode, and I don't know why, but I'll see you fellas in the next one. Like it, comment if you enjoyed it, or comment for other video suggestions. Maybe I'll make them. And if you loved it, consider subscribing. I feel like I'm relearning this YouTube stuff. So, me ora.